Okay. The first curiosity that struck me about Tunic was opening up the mailbox and receiving a message in a language that I couldn't read. My first instinct was to see if I had the language set incorrectly, but when I opened up the pause screen, the options were all laid out in English. Tunic is a game I've heard compared to some of my favorite games in Outer Wilds and Rainworld, and the comparison became very clear to me right away. It holds its cards close to its chest. The mechanics are very rarely spelled out to you, but instead left up to be experimented upon and pieced together yourself. I began to understand the use of an alternate language as soon as I picked up a piece of the game manual. It's a clever way for the game to reveal its secrets to you, while still keeping intrigue in what else there may be to learn. For example, the manual will often hint at a certain mechanic being explained later on a page that you have yet to find. This subtly builds my curiosity and gives me drive to explore and excitement whenever I find a new page. This made-up language created by the game gives the feeling that I'm playing something made in another country that's yet to be localized, and I have to use context clues provided by the small bits of English and pictures that help me understand what I'm meant to do. I wonder if the creators had this exact experience, and if that's a feeling they wanted to capture in their game. If so, they did a wonderful job. The joy of experimenting and figuring things out for myself became the highlight of the first 2 hours I played. Whenever I found a new item or tool, I had a lot of fun simply experimenting with how it's used, and putting together ways it could be to my advantage. I love how the different bombs interact with the world. Accidentally setting myself on fire, and then subsequently setting the grass and bushes alight was a particularly goofy highlight. Okay. Oh! Oh! The enemies I fought also were their own puzzles. Each one adds a new element that you have to work around and get comfortable with. Projectiles, shields, different movement patterns, all mixed up the way I confronted a fight. One moment that stood out to me had to do with the knights. The first knight I ran into has bushes and grass surrounding it, meaning that it's almost guaranteed it'll cut them down if it swipes. The bushes had previously been an impassable obstacle, and it was cool to have this solution presented to me in such a way. Furthermore, this indirectly taught me that I could do the same once I found the sword. Oh, I no longer need those guys. I love the map layout a lot. With its locked camera and art style, it feels a lot like you're traveling around a little mini puzzle blocks. The game hides its secrets and shortcuts very well, and can lead to some awesome revelations of hidden paths that were always there. No way! No way! I will say that sometimes the intended way forward can be a bit too well hidden. I didn't realize that there was access to the staircase after the guard captain, leading to me getting stuck for about 30 minutes. I ended up finding the way forward after consulting the manual, so perhaps this is a lesson to refer to the manual if I get stuck. I also really enjoy the combat. It's clear that Dark Souls inspired it a good bit, but I also get a very Hollow Knight feel with the rhythm of the enemy's attacks. It flows well, and the variety of items I had at my disposal made it feel varied. I like the decision to not give the shield to the player until after they completed the first area. It makes the player more comfortable with the dodge roll before they are given the more safe blocking option. The final thing I want to touch on in this game is the manual, which I had mentioned earlier. This is the game's way of more directly teaching you about its mechanics. So far, the manual has taught me about the mechanics after I had already had a chance to encounter and experiment with them. I like this system, as you'll already have somewhat of an idea about how something works from your own experimentation, and the manual will then clear up anything you might have missed. So far, I felt it's done a good job of guiding me when I need it, rather than holding my hand through all the game's puzzles. There's so much more I want to say. Questions about what's going on, what the purpose of our character is. I already have run into multiple spots that for now are dead ends, but have signs that I may be able to get by them with a tool I yet possess. This game raises a lot of questions and mysteries, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here.